Hello singers, here's a quick video on how to strengthen your head voice. I've done other videos in my vocal coaching playlist on finding the chest voice, and there'll be more on that, and also finding the mix, which we hear talked about a lot. These terms we hear, head voice, chest voice, mixed voice, there are many controversial views on whether we should even use these terms, and we can become over-aware of the different bits of our voice sometimes. I think it's really important to recognize that, the voice will do lots of different things, and what we call it is sometimes helpful and sometimes not. And if you're classically trained, you'll often be trained to have one range that runs straight through from the bottom end right up to your highest notes, where there is no discernible break in your voice. It's one smooth transition all the way through, which you could say is the ultimate objective for a singer. Having said that, I think using the break, like in yodeling, for example, and breaking in a pop ballad into a more fragile head note, can sometimes have a place, and therefore I think it's important to retain the possibility of an audible break as much as it's relevant to learn how not to do that. But right now, let's talk about the head voice. The head voice, for argument's sake, is the voice above the break. Most of us, not all, but most of us speak in our chest voices. It's more obvious with guys because we've got our full speaking voice and then our falsetto, and that falsetto is what higher voiced singers and most women would call their head voice. And for some, it's the default to sing in that voice. La, 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 la. That might be your default voice, and finding your chest voice becomes the issue. But right now, I want to talk to those of you who perhaps are more used to singing in your lower register, your chest voice usually, and want to learn how to strengthen that head voice that maybe feels like a breathy 5-year-old. So you might try and sing up here. And it sounds breathy and a bit horrible to the point where you hate using it, and it becomes your backup voice only, and you'll only ever use it if the notes feel too high to do them in your chest voice. Whereas actually you want a full choice. Singing should be like painting a picture using different colors, different textures according to the effect you want to create. But I think the issue with many head voices is that where they sound breathy or wrong is we're using too much breath because we're not attacking the note in the right way. I could do an hour on this, so given that I've got about a couple of minutes, I think one of the key things to learn, other than obviously supporting your voice, which comes from a lower abdominal muscles and breathing to this lower register area beneath the ribs, that's support and breathing, that's another whole topic. But other than that, it's about learning to recognize that the way you get clarity in your head voice, like any voice, is by using different bits of bone structure in your face. So, for example, many high voices will say that they feel their head voice resonate around the bone structure, around the eyes, like this. It's a bit high for me, okay, but I'm kind of resonating there, or maybe on the front, behind my hard palate. I can feel that behind my top teeth, almost at the front of the roof of my mouth. And the inside of the roof of your mouth is like a cathedral, and you can literally create your own acoustics inside your own face. How cool is that? So if we're here, let's go back so I can actually hit that note. If I don't bounce that sound, so this is wrong, if I don't bounce that sound off any bone structure or hard bits within my face or mouth, I get this. I can barely hit the note. With a bit more attack, I'm bouncing a note off here. What you're hearing is less breath and more resonance. Resonance is that thing that carries. It's not the same as volume. So I would suggest you take maybe a little mini half scale at a comfortable point that's kind of top of your chest voice, lower end of your head voice, or even could be either depending on the context. So let's take a G here, which you might be able to belt in your chest voice, but don't. And let's use the E vowel sound, because I think it's the easiest way to actually find this. I'm going to go with me, and really feel that buzzy thing, that buzziness, that reverberation, that vibration, that resonance happen here. And don't allow, because also that sounds breathy, as you know, and if we do that, we also run out of air, and we'll go, we can barely get through it. a bit more attack, bit more clarity. So start on the E, and then maybe go up the scale gradually. For me. I won't go any higher because I can't get there and I'm going flat, but you get my point. When you feel comfortable with the E, change that sound to an R. So you might do, for example, E followed by R, maybe E. Same again on R. But be careful when you go into the R, you don't drop back into that breathier sound, because the R sound will sit further back in your mouth than the E sound will. But once you've got the feeling, and I should have said this, the E vowel sound requires the same throat shape as an R. So if you think R before you sing E, so you don't get E, E, you get E. That's an R-shaped throat for an E sound. E. Then it's easier to recreate the same sound on an R. So you're going to go E. Now R. That's enough for now. Play around with that and have a great day. Speak soon. Bye-bye.